So good morning class, and I hope you all have submitted your assignments which were given you like I think last week. So enough time has been given to you. I think you have submitted that assignment. Is there anybody who haven't
Yes,
submitted their?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I
Okay,
have submitted.
okay, very good, very good. Is there anybody who haven't submitted their assignment? जिसने अपना assignment submit नहीं किया है अभी तक? कोई है ऐसा?
Yes, ma'am.
सिद्धार्थ, I think you are the new student.
Yes, ma'am. हाँ, ma'am.
आप नए हैं ना यहाँ पे? ये शायद आपका फर्स्ट क्लास है.
हाँ, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, there is no issue for you to submit your assignment. Those who have taken number of classes, जिन्होंने बहुत सारी classes ले ली हैं, what about those students? All done with their assignments? Completed? Yogesh, Nitashi, Nisha,
Yes, ma'am.
Deepak. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Now let me present my screen. Is my screen visible to the entire class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So far what we have discussed yesterday was the fuel principles of management, the 14 principles of management, and the Henry Fayol is also termed as the father of administrative theory. Now, this fuel principles, these principles are very important. Now, the next theory which comes under the classical theory is your bureaucracy theory. And this theory was given by Max Weber. What he observed and what he suggested is that in any organizations basically there are three types of administration. These are your leader oriented administration, your traditional oriented administration, and your modern oriented administration. So when I'm saying leader oriented administration, it simply means that the employees in any organization, they are loyal to the leader. They are loyal to the leader. And when I'm saying the traditional method, it simply means that the person or the employee, those who are working in the organization, the person will be who will be the next owner of the organization. It is decided by that it is inherited from your father. It simply means that whether I possess any capability, whether I have any ability or not, but that business belongs to my father. So obviously, uh, uh, the movement he will retire, I will be occupying that position. Then the other one is modern, or which we called as a bureaucratic method. The bureaucratic simply says that instead of having the loyal to the leader, or the thing you are getting inheritance from your parents or whosoever it is, the person should be selected on the basis of their credentials, on the basis of merit. It simply means if you have the capability, then you will be selected for that position. आपको उस position के लिए तब काबिल माना जाएगा जब आपके अंदर वो काबिलियत होगी. यानी हमने तीन तरह के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मैक्स वेबर ने नोटिस किए. पहला था आपका लीडर ओरिएंटेड, द सेकेंड वन वॉज योर ट्रेडिशनल ओरिएंटेड, एंड द थर्ड वन वॉज योर ब्यूरोक्रेटिक. लीडर ओरिएंटेड में ये देखा गया कि जो भी लोग लीडर के लॉयल होते हैं, लीडर के बाद वो उस पोजीशन को ऑक्यूपाई करते हैं. यानी आप जितने ज्यादा लॉयल हैं किसी लीडर के लिए, तो ऑब्वियसली उसके बाद उस पोजीशन को आप ऑक्यूपाई करेंगे. द नेक्स्ट वन वॉज योर ट्रेडिशनल. ट्रेडिशनल में यानी अगर किसी के फादर का बिजनेस है, तो जैसे ही उनके फादर रिटायर होंगे या उनको लगेगा कि आई एम नॉट इन दैट पोजीशन दैट आई कैन हैंडल दिस, तो ऑब्वियसली उनकी जो बच्चे हैं, लाइक योर देयर डॉटर और देयर सन, they will be taking that organization, or they will be the owner of that organization. And the थर्ड वन वाज योर ब्यूरोक्रेटिक. ब्यूरोक्रेटिक में कहा गया कि इंस्टेड ऑफ बोथ दीज, यानी इन दोनों के बजाय हमें कैसे चूज करना चाहिए, यानी अगर कोई पर्सन केपेबल है देन ओनली ही और वी विल बी टेकिंग दैट पोजीशन. यानी कोई फेवरेटिज्म नहीं है, कोई बायसनेस नहीं है, नथिंग इज देयर, बट यस, आपके पास अगर वो केपेबिलिटी है, आपके पास अगर वो पोटेंशियल है, देन यू विल बी टेकिंग दैट पोजीशन. तो अब बेसिकली जब आप ब्यूरोक्रेसी का हिंदी में मीनिंग देखेंगे तो इसका मतलब होता है नौकरशाही. एंड दिस इज एप्लीकेबल इन ऑल द लार्ज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, स्पेशली इन द गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. जितनी भी गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होंगी वहां पे ब्यूरोक्रेसी होगी. कोई, क्योंकि स्टिल इफ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सो इफ देयर इज अ प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आई थिंक देयर इज समवन. So we were discussing about this bureaucracy, and I was saying if this is the private organization, so obviously nobody or the people are least bothered about the capability. Okay, let's allow them also. So if this is the private organization, then obviously the people are least bothered about the capability or the potential. The end result is always like that कि अगर आपके फादर का बिजनेस है तो ऑब्वियसली आप ही उसके ओनर हो सकते हैं. इट इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ दैट वेदर यू हैव दैट पोटेंशियल और नॉट, आप उस चीज के लिए सुटेबल है या नहीं है. या व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू डू दैट, हमने क्या ऑब्जर्व किया दैट for the higher designations, for those designations which are very important for the organizations, they are fulfilled or they are taken by the relatives of the owner. उन सारी जगहों पे आपने अपने ओनर को सेट कर दिया, irrespective of that whether they have that knowledge or not. उनके पास वो नॉलेज है, वो कैपेबिलिटी है, वो पोटेंशियल है या नहीं है, बट बिकॉज दैट पर्सन इज माई रिलेटिव, तो ऑब्वियसली व्हाट आई एम डूइंग, आई एम जस्ट putting that person on that specific job. मैंने CEO, CFO या जितने भी टॉप मोस्ट पोजीशन है, टॉप मैनेजमेंट की जितनी भी पोजीशंस है, वो अपने ही फैमिली में या अपने ही रिलेटिव्स के लोगों को अलोकेट कर दिया. But this cannot be done in the government organizations, because in the government organizations you have to prove your merit. This is according to the bureaucracy. अब आप कह सकते हैं कि मैम दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट ट्रू पिक्चर ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में भी अप टू सम एक्सटेंट देयर आर बायसनेस. लाइक if you have any political affiliations, you will have the higher probability to get selected for that job. अगर आपका कोई political affiliation है, तो ऑब्वियसली आपको ही सेलेक्ट किया जाएगा. दैट इज द अनदर थिंग. बट मैक्स वेबर का कहना यही था, व्हाट ही ऑब्जर्व्ड इज दैट कि वी हैव टू फॉलो द ब्यूरोक्रेसी दैट डिपेंड्स और दैट रिलाई कंप्लीटली ऑन द मेरिट बेसिस, यानी इम्पर्सनल होना चाहिए. व्हेनेवर वी आर allocating any task or whenever we are putting in a person to a specific job, to a specific designation, that should not be biased, that should not be based on the favoritism, else sooner or later your organization will collapse. क्योंकि आपको देखना होगा कि जनरली हम लोग कहते हैं ना कि जो डिजर्व नहीं करता है उसको अगर आप उस जगह पे बैठा देंगे तो आपको रिजल्ट थोड़े दिनों में देखने को ही मिल जाएगा. इसलिए होता है, दैट इज द रीजन कि कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस दे डू वंडर. Nowadays people are crying क्योंकि फाइन बिकॉज वी आर लिविंग इन द क्राइसिस, तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बहुत सफर करेंगे. आई एग्री अप टू द सम एक्सटेंट, इट्स परफेक्ट, इट्स absolutely true that this crisis is having a significant impact on the financial result of the organization. But again, you have to recheck yourself कि आपने उन टॉप मोस्ट डेजिग्नेशन पे किनको बिठाया हुआ है, कहीं इतनी बड़ी बेवकूफी तो नहीं की है कि सारे आपने अपने जो रिलेटिव्स हैं वट एवर इज दैट, आपकी फ्रेंड्स हैं, क्लोज फ्रेंड्स हैं, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ दैट कि वेदर दे हैव दैट पोटेंशियल और नॉट, आपने उनको बिठा दिया है। तो अगर आपने ऐसा किया है तो ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू बेयर द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस। एनीवेज, द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी, व्हाट दे हैव रेड, what they have said, it means the Max Weber का कहना क्या था? He said simply that whatever is the rules and whatever is the job responsibilities, that should be written clearly, that should be clearly stated. It means the moment the person will join the organization, the moment the person will join the organization, he or she should know very well what are the rules, what are their job responsibilities. So everything should be given in the written. हर चीज जो भी है ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के अंदर वो रिटन होनी चाहिए, यानी ज्यादा से ज्यादा आपका पेपर वर्क होना चाहिए। वो आप किसी भी गवर्नमेंट में ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में चले जाइए, ऑल्दो देयर आर नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग दैट व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू डू, वी आर सेइंग कि सेव पेपर, don't waste paper, but if you are moving to the government organization, still they will follow the same approach. वहां पे बहुत सारी फाइल्स के आपको बंडल्स देखने के लिए मिलेंगे। they heavily rely on the paperwork because किसी भी गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में पेपर वर्क बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर ईच एंड एवरी डिसीजन। कोई मीटिंग हुई है, फॉर दैट ऑल्सो वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर द मिनट्स। सो इफ आई हैव टू प्रिपेयर द मिनट्स ऑफ द मीटिंग, अगेन there should be the paper for that. I will be preparing those minutes on the paper. That is mostly in the government organizations. And if you are going to the private organizations, obviously they will, आपने बहुत सारी mails में भी observe किया होगा, they used to write the save paper until unless it is not necessary. Please do not take print out of that mail until unless it is not necessary. So what is that? That is like what we are doing कि हम पेपर को सेव कर रहे हैं। लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में ऐसा नहीं है, आपको एक रूल बुक मिलती है, एक रूल बुक। व्हेनेवर यू जॉइन एनी जॉब, in most of the cases they will give you the rule book जहाँ पे सारी चीजें मेंशन होगी, what is your job responsibilities, what are the rules, what are the do's and don'ts in the organizations which you are supposed to follow. Then obviously, because if we are going to follow this bureaucracy, then there should be a clear hierarchy. आपकी hierarchy होनी चाहिए organizations के अंदर, यानी designations. The top management should be separated from the middle should be separated from the lower. It should not be like that. Approach should not be like that. That is like what we are saying, that is a hierarchy and less organization. There is no hierarchy. Everybody can interact with anybody. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. There is a hierarchy, and if there is a hierarchy in the organization, you have to follow that hierarchy. तो आपको उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर उस hierarchy को फॉलो भी करना होगा. Then your appointments, your promotions, whatever is that should be formal. Formal means whenever you are promoting anybody, whenever you are recruiting or selecting anybody, it should be impersonal. There should be no biasness. कोई भी biasness नहीं होगा उनके अपॉइंटमेंट या प्रमोशन को लेके. It totally depends upon their merit. उनके मेरिट पे डिपेंड करना चाहिए, तभी उस बेसिस पे आप उनका अपॉइंटमेंट या प्रमोशन कर सकते हैं. If you fail to do so, then later on you cannot held accountable any person because you have selected the wrong person for that job. जिसको नॉलेज नहीं है, अगर आपने उस पर्सन को अपॉइंट कर दिया एज अ चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर and that person is just 12th pass, then later on how can you hold that person accountable if there is any financial loss to the organization? आप उसको कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं, कैसे रिस्पॉन्सिबल, कैसे अकाउंटेबल बनाएंगे? क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली आपने खुद ही एक गलत पर्सन को उस डेजिग्नेशन के लिए सेलेक्ट किया है या किसी गलत पर्सन को उस स्पेसिफिक पोस्ट के लिए प्रमोट किया है. तो सिंपल से थिंग ये है कि इफ यू आर सेलेक्टिंग एनी पर्सन, इफ यू आर प्रमोटिंग एनी पर्सन, दे शुड डिजर्व दैट पोजीशन. वो उस पोजीशन को डिजर्व करने चाहिए. देन लेटर ऑन यू कैन हेल्ड देम अकाउंटेबल. आप उन्हें अकाउंटेबल हेल्ड कर सकते हैं. लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज व्हेनेवर यू आर सेलेक्टिंग, the vice chancellor, the professors, or you are promoting them, like in the case of assistant or the associate professor, if the decisions which they are taking that doesn't turn in the right direction, or that get protested by the students or by the faculty, then obviously that vice chancellor or whosoever it is, whatever is the highest designation, they are held accountable from the government side, that they have to give the clarification for that protest, why they have taken that decision. So this can be done only when you have selected the person on the basis of their merit, not because you have some favoritism to that person. आपने उस person को किसी favoritism पे appoint नहीं किया, that person deserve that position, then only you can hold them accountable. Then employees are hired based on their skills and knowledge, not because of favoritism or luck. This already I have discussed कि आप किसी भी पर्सन को जब सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि हम हायर डेजिग्नेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, किसी भी लेवल पे जब आप किसी एम्प्लॉय को हायर कर रहे हैं, दैट शुड बी कंप्लीटली बेस्ड ऑन द मेरिट, बेस्ड ऑन देयर नॉलेज. इट शुड नॉट बी बेस्ड ऑन द फेवरेटिज्म. एंड सैलरीज आर टाइड टू द पे ग्रेड सिस्टम. सैलरी जो होगी वो पे ग्रेड सिस्टम से टाई होगी, which most of the private organization doesn't follow, because somewhere they knew very well that we are not recruiting the deserving person. I'm not saying that in all private organizations, but yes, few organizations, because they are looking for the cost cutting. So obviously if you are recruiting any person who's not deserving that position, then you know that somewhere if you are compromising, then that person who is selected for that position, he or she also has to compromise in terms of salary. But if you are deserving, then in any case you cannot compromise with this salary. So if the person is selected on the basis of their skills and knowledge, then obviously you have to give the salary which is tied to the pay grade system. Then bureaucracies are unable or unwilling to adapt changing conditions quickly. Yes, this is the what we can say constraint. This can be the constraint also in case of the bureaucracy. They are not quickly adaptable to the changing environment conditions. They cannot change themselves so quickly in comparison to the private organizations. Let me give you an example. You know, the time this pandemic situation started, most of the private organizations, what they have done, they have decided that okay fine, because this is a pandemic situation and the students and the faculty, it is not safe, we cannot ask them that they should come to the premises and then students will give their final exam. So in result of that, they have decided that we will use the online mode for the examination. But in the government organization, they were still in the dilemma, because they were protested by many of the students that we don't have the proper NAT facility. We are living in the remote area. So how can you expect us that we will giving the online exam? It is not at all acceptable. And this issue, the whole issue that moved to the Supreme Court. And the last, when the Supreme Court have decided that yes, the universities, they can go for this exam, the UGC, when the UGC have said it very clearly that yes, for the last year students, it is mandatory that they have to give the final exam. Then at that point, those government universities feel that yes, we don't have any alternatives now, we have to take the exam. Till that time, now it's September, till that time the court give that verdict, they were just dragging that issue. Why? Because they don't want to change. They have the traditional method of giving the examination and they want to follow that method only. So based on this pandemic situation, based on the situation of COVID-19, irrespective of that the other faculties are taking the examination by following the online mode, the universities, the government universities, they were reluctant to change themselves. Now, I'm not saying that it is good or bad. It depends upon both the conditions. Maybe, see, the first thing is that they cannot change quickly themselves. And there are n number of reasons associated with that. Yes, because the number one factor is that there are so many unprivileged students are studying in the government universities. they are not able to spend so much money on the smartphone, or they are not able to pay the data pack. They are not able to pay so much amount for this data pack. They are not able to purchase the smartphone. So obviously, being a government organizations, you have to consider all the welfare of all the students. You cannot say that okay fine, just for the bunch of students we can do one thing, we can take the online exam, forget about these students. If they can't purchase the smartphone, what we can do? The government organizations cannot do like these things, because they have the motive of welfare of the students. So obviously, till the last student have that facility, they cannot go so easily with this online method. That is the problem. That is like, this can be given as a bonus point to the government organization, but yes, in some of the cases it is not at all acceptable. Like if we are taking the case of teaching, when in the private organizations faculties are teaching, maybe in the government organizations faculties are reluctant to do so. I'm not saying it is happening, but yes, up to some extent it is there, that they are reluctant to do so, because they used to think that okay fine, this is not the perfect method of teaching, we are not used to of this method. So this is the problem with the bureaucracy system. This last point can be taken as a constraint. इसको एक constraint भी समझा जा सकता है, या limitations भी समझी जा सकती है bureaucracy theory की. And these are like 5 key principles. That is your management by rules. It simply means that whosoever it is, irrespective of their designation, the entire organization will run on the basis of rules and regulations, irrespective of their designation. You cannot mold the rules according to your comfort. आप अपने हिसाब से चीजों को बदल नहीं सकते हैं based upon your comfort. It should not be there. Then organization by functional speciality. This is given in each and every theory of the classical. That is division of labor or the division of work. That the work should be allocated based on their specialization. जिसको आप जो काम दे रहे हैं वो उसकी स्पेशलाइजेशन के बेसिस पे होना चाहिए. Then third is your purposely impersonal. I have just discussed about this thing कि जब भी आप अपॉइंटमेंट करते हैं, whenever you are doing appointment, whenever you are doing promotions, there should be no favoritism, there should be no biasness. Employment based on technical qualifications. So whenever you are employing any person, you have to employ that person based on their merit. उनकी merit के basis पर ही आप उनको recruit करते हैं. It should not be like that कि आपने देखा irrespective of that whether they are deserving or not, you have just recruited them. It should not be there. And the last important one is that the hierarchical structure. Organizations के अंदर एक hierarchical structure होगा which is supposed or which is presumed that everybody should follow that hierarchical structure. Everybody, whosoever it is, they have to follow that hierarchical structure. इस hierarchical structure को खत्म नहीं किया जा सकता है. And somewhere there are other limitations also, that because of this bureaucracy, sometimes the number of the government organizations, there is they are in number of employees, they indulge in the corruption में भी involve हो जाते हैं. बहुत सारी limitations भी है bureaucracy की. Now let's see the structure. This is the top level management, this is the middle level management, and then is your supervisory management. So this is the hierarchical level, and nobody can say that they can challenge this hierarchical level or they can bypass this hierarchical level. This is not at all possible in case of a government organization or in case of large organizations. Again, I'm repeating, government organizations or large organizations, you have to follow the hierarchy. आपको hierarchy को follow करना ही पड़ेगा. This is what we have completed, this bureaucracy theory. Because of this hierarchical system, there are rigid rules and regulations. Again, I have said कि आप rules को according to your comfort, you cannot mold them. आप उन्हें mold नहीं कर सकते. That's why there are rigid rules and regulations. वही rigid रहेंगे, they cannot be flexible. वो आपके हिसाब से flexible नहीं किए जा सकते. having no consideration for interpersonal relations based on emotions and human qualities. No, because either you are promoting the person, you are appointing the person, that is entirely based upon their merit. Whatever rules and regulations are there, whatever responsibilities are assigned to you, that is based upon the requirement. It is not like that if you go to that person and if you ask that please because of the some interpersonal relations, uh, in this specific theory, what we simply mean, we are not bothered about your emotions. We do not consider that what problems you are having at your personal life. We are only focusing on the productivity. We are only focusing on the rules and regulations of the organization. हमें organization के rules and regulations को follow करना है at any cost. We do not bother what will be the result if we are blindly following these rules and regulations. We do not bother about it. Then power has been considered as the dominant factor to administer this organization. Obviously, if you have the hierarchical system, so if you are sitting at the topmost position, then you have the highest authority. आपकी जो भी चेयर है, like if you are the CEO of the organization in any government organization, तो आपकी उस CEO की पोजीशन पे मैक्सिमम अथॉरिटी है, मैक्सिमम पावर है. So that is the dominant factor to guide the organization, to administer the organization. You will be the one who will decide कि organization में centralization approach होगा या decentralization approach होगा. That will be decided by you. By that person who will be occupying that position. So that is your bureaucratic theory. Now, let me show you this. So we have completed this classical theory, and in this classical theories we have covered your scientific management theory, your administrative theory, and your bureaucracy theory, which was given by Weber. Now, today we are going to discuss the neoclassical theory, and in this there is only single theory in your syllabus, and this is human relation theory, which was given by Alton Mayo. Now, why we are saying it as a neoclassical theory? See, neoclassical theory, it simply means that these theories, or the authors, those who have contributed in this theory, they are not rejecting these classical theories. No, they are not doing that. But they are just trying to improve them. That's why this name has been given as a neoclassical theory. They are not rejecting these classical theories, but they are trying to improve them or trying to refine them. The important point or the highlight of this neoclassical theory is that they have noticed that in classical theories, in these three theories, somewhere we have not touched the human relations. We fail to touch the human relations. We fail or we miss somewhere to understand the human needs. हमने कहीं भी किसी भी थ्योरी में ह्यूमन नीड्स को कंसीडर नहीं किया. हमने तीनों थ्योरी जब पढ़ी तो हमने ह्यूमंस की जो as a human we have not treated them as a human. Instead of that, what we have understood or how we have treated them, that they are just the tools of production. हमें सिर्फ अपनी productivity enhance करनी है at any cost. At any cost. So if we are following this approach, somewhere we are ignoring the needs of the human. In this neoclassical theory, we are just considering the needs of the human. उसी नीड को कंसीडर करने के बाद हम neoclassical theory में करते हैं. Now let's see this experiment which was given by Alton Mayo. So the Alton Mayo, they have actually done the 4 experiments. He worked in this. Alton Mayo, along with one of his colleagues, one of the scientists or one of the author who was working in the company, that was the General Electric Company. एक कंपनी थी जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक कंपनी which was in Chicago. Let me try. That was a General Electric company which was in Chicago. and then company used to manufacture telephones or other necessary items which are related to this telephone only. So to know that how can we increase the productivity, although we have followed all the approaches कि आप scientifically workers को recruit कीजिए, आप उनके लिए ट्रेनिंग करवाइए, आप उनको incentives दे रहे हैं, you are doing number of things, you are recruiting the people on the merit basis. Still there was a problem that the productivity was not enhancing, productivity enhance नहीं हो रही है. And what is the reason behind that? So the Alton Mayo, along with the other scientists, they have done the 4 experiments in this General Electric company. They have what experiments they have done? First was the illumination experiment. The first experiment they have done was the illumination experiment. In the illumination experiment, what they have done, that in the organizations they created 2 groups. उस organizations के अंदर I think around 20,000 or more than 20,000 employees who were working in that organization, and they have created 2 groups. So one group was termed as a control group and the other group was termed as an experiment group. एक ग्रुप को कंट्रोल ग्रुप का नाम दिया गया, दूसरे ग्रुप को एक्सपेरिमेंट ग्रुप का नाम दिया गया. The group which was named as a control group, in the premises wherever that group was working, the intensity of the light, the illumination factor was not changed at all. Illumination या light की intensity को बिल्कुल भी change नहीं किया गया. The second group, which was the experiment group, what they have done, that first they have increases the illumination, nothing change was observed. After that they have decreases the illumination, the intensity of the light, nothing impact on the productivity. And lastly, when they have decreased the intensity of the light similar to the moonlight, then obviously the productivity was decreased. उस टाइम पे आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी डिक्रीज हो गई थी. यानी 2 ग्रुप आपने फॉर्म किए, एक ग्रुप था कंट्रोल ग्रुप, एक ग्रुप था एक्सपेरिमेंट ग्रुप. कंट्रोल ग्रुप में आपने लाइट था, जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी था, जिसकी रोशनी में वर्कर्स काम करते थे, उस पर कोई छेड़छाड़ नहीं की. और दूसरा जो एक्सपेरिमेंट ग्रुप था, पहले आपने इलेक्ट्रिसिटी या जो इंटेंसिटी था लाइट का उसको इंक्रीज किया, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. लेकिन आपने फिर उसे कम किया, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. लेकिन जब आपने उसे इतना कम कर दिया कि वो मून लाइट के बराबर रह गया, देन एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ अ टाइम प्रोडक्टिविटी जो था वो डिक्रीज हो गया. एट लास्ट दे हैव कंक्लूडेड इट सिंपली मींस इल्यूमिनेशन का कोई सिग्निफिकेंट इंपैक्ट नहीं है प्रोडक्टिविटी पे. व्हाट दे हैव कंक्लूडेड, इसका सिंपल मतलब ये है कि इल्यूमिनेशन का कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं आ रहा है प्रोडक्टिविटी पे, क्योंकि प्रोडक्टिविटी तभी अफेक्टेड हुई जब आपने उसको इतना डिम कर दिया इंटेंसिटी को, लाइट को, जो वो मून लाइट के बराबर हो गई. लोगों को दिखना, इट वाज डिफिकल्ट टू सी देम प्रॉपर्ली. देन द प्रोडक्टिविटी डिक्रीजेस. बिफोर दैट इट वाज सेम. सो दे हैव कंक्लूडेड कि कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. देन योर नेक्स्ट वाज रिले असेंबली टेस्ट रूम. रिले असेंबली टेस्ट रूम, व्हाट दे हैव डन, they have selected the 2 females from that organizations. उन्होंने 2 females को select किया and they have asked them that you can do one thing, you can select the 4 more women or the females for creating a group. So those 2 females, they have just what we can say, they have just selected the 4 more females to create a homogeneous group. Now I am asking you people that you just create a group. I have selected initially 2 and I have asked you that you have to create a group. So do one thing, you just select the other 4 people. So these 6 girls who are selected, and now before that in that company nothing was asked from the employees. Employees से कुछ पूछा नहीं जाता था. This was the first time that we were taking inputs from the employees. We were asking them that you just form the group. आप group बनाइए. तो ऑब्वियसली जो ग्रुप बना वो होमोजीनियस बना. होमोजीनियस क्यों? क्योंकि आपने जिन 4 लोगों को सेलेक्ट किया, आपको पता है कि कहीं ना कहीं उनकी लाइटिंग, उनकी प्रेफरेंसेस आपसे सेम है. समवेयर दे आर सिमिलर. सो दैट्स व्हाई that group was more or less homogeneous in nature. Now apart from that, what they have decided that they have started to give them breaks. उनको breaks दिए जाने लगे. एक मॉर्निंग में ब्रेक दिया जाने लगा और एक इवनिंग में ब्रेक दिए जाने लगा for the 10 minutes. So they started giving them breaks and to observe that whether the productivity gets improved or not. Productivity improve होती है या नहीं होती है. So what they have concluded, yes, productivity enhanced. Later on, what they have done, instead of giving these 10 minutes break, they have just reduced the times of the breaks, but they have increased the frequency of the breaks. अब उन्होंने क्या किया, 10 मिनट्स की बजाय 5-5 मिनट के ब्रेक देने लगे, लेकिन अब ज्यादा टाइम के लिए ब्रेक देने लगे, यानी आफ्टर 2 आवर्स, आफ्टर 3 आवर्स. अर्लियर वी वर गिविंग ओनली 2 ब्रेक्स, लेकिन अब हर 2 घंटे या 3 घंटे के बाद आपको 5-5 मिनट के ब्रेक दिए जाने लगे. नाउ दोस गर्ल्स दे हैव कंप्लेन प्रोडक्टिविटी इनहैंस नहीं हुआ, बल्कि productivity becomes stagnant, and the girls have complained कि because of these frequent breaks, जो वर्क का जो रिदम है वो खराब हो जाता है, इट गेट डिस्टर्ब. जो आप वर्क कर रहे होते हैं उसका रिदम जो है वो बिगड़ जाता है. So obviously they have understood that. Then apart from that, what they have done, that they offered them snacks, free snacks. उनको फ्री स्नैक्स दिए जाने लगे. उनको कहा गया कि आपको फ्री स्नैक्स दिए जाएंगे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की तरफ से. ऑल दीज वर्किंग कंडीशंस, जितनी भी वर्किंग कंडीशंस थी वो चेंज की गई. लाइक अगर बाकी के एम्प्लॉइज का जब ऑफ होता था, वर्किंग आवर्स थे, अगर वो 5 आवर्स थे, तो हमने उन गर्ल्स को बोला कि आपके वर्किंग आवर्स सिर्फ 4 आवर्स हैं. You can leave the premises at 4 p.m. but the other employees, they are supposed to stay till 5 p.m. So we have changed the job conditions. Job conditions को बार-बार चेंज करके देखा गया. फाइनेंशियल इंसेंटिव जो अब तक क्लासिकल थ्योरी के अंदर इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मेंस पे बेस्ड थे, जो हम ये कहते थे कि इंडिविजुअल, अगर इंडिविजुअल ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करेगा, ज्यादा पीसेस बनाएगा, तो हम उसको ज्यादा पैसे देंगे. बट यहाँ पे सिंपल सी बात ये कही गई कि यू आर नॉट वर्किंग एज अ इंडिविजुअल, यू आर वर्किंग इन अ टीम. तो अगर टीम अगर ये टारगेट को अचीव करेगा, देन ओनली वी विल गिव यू द इंसेंटिव. हम आपको इंसेंटिव तब देंगे. Later on, when these job conditions were taken away, सारी job conditions छीन ली गई, these privileges which were given to those female candidates, and they were sent back to the normal conditions. उनको वापस वही normal conditions में डाला गया. Then those scientists were surprised to notice that कि productivity में ज़्यादा कोई improvement नहीं हुआ, because they switched back to that normal production. और जब हम उनकी job conditions change कर रहे थे, तो भी प्रोडक्टिविटी में बहुत कम बार ऐसा हुआ कि जो प्रोडक्टिविटी इनहांस हुई. लेकिन हाँ, एक चीज पता चल गई कि ग्रुप रिलेशंस और द ग्रुप प्लेज अ इम्पोर्टेंट रोल इन अफेक्टिंग द इंडिविजुअल बिहेवियर. यानी जो ग्रुप जो है उसका बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट है इंडिविजुअल के बिहेवियर पे. इट प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. देन द थर्ड एक्सपेरिमेंट विच दे हैव डन वाज द इंटरव्यूइंग प्रोग्राम. अब इंटरव्यू प्रोग्राम थर्ड एक्सपेरिमेंट उन्होंने किया. उन्होंने कहा चलिए ठीक है, ये भी इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू कंक्लूड एनीथिंग, लेट्स डू द थर्ड एक्सपेरिमेंट. ये जो फीमेल कैंडिडेट वाला एक्सपेरिमेंट था आपका रिले असेंबली टेस्ट, दिस वाज कंडक्टेड फ्रॉम 4 वीक्स टू द 12 वीक्स. 4 से 12 हफ्ते तक ये एक्सपेरिमेंट चला था. आफ्टर दैट वी हैव डन द इंटरव्यूइंग प्रोग्राम. इंटरव्यूइंग प्रोग्राम किया गया जिसमें द पर्सन इट मींस द साइंटिस्ट दे हैव आस्क्ड डायरेक्टली एम्प्लॉयज को पूछा गया कि व्हाट डू यू थिंक, आपका बॉस कैसा है, आपके प्रमोशंस कैसे हैं. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस, वी वर आस्किंग देम डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस. तो ऑब्वियसली नोबडी विल से कि मेरा बॉस बहुत बुरा है. आप किसी को भी पूछिए, अगर आप आज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में काम कर रहे हैं और उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के प्रीमाइसेस में आके अब आपको नहीं पता है कि मैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की साइड से काम कर रही हूँ या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से बाहर आई हूँ, मेरा कुछ भी डेटा आपको मेरी आइडेंटिटी आपको रिवील नहीं की जाती है, और मैं अगर आपसे ये पूछती हूँ कि प्लीज लेट मी नो अबाउट द फैकल्टीज, कि आपको क्या लगता है कि किस फैकल्टी के समझने में आपको प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली नन ऑफ यू विल स्पीक द ट्रूथ. आप सच नहीं बताएंगे. देन दे ऑब्जर्व दैट इट सर्व्स नो पर्पस, इसका कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ. वी आर आस्किंग द डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन. देन दे आस्क द इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस. अब उन्होंने इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस पूछना शुरू किया. इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस व्हाट it simply means that instead of asking the questions they were observing the employee. उन्होंने ज्यादा ध्यान इस पे दिया कि पूछने के बजाय हम एम्प्लॉइज के बिहेवियर को ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, क्योंकि ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद हमें पता चल जाएगा कि ओके फाइन, व्हाट इज देयर परसेप्शन, व्हाट दे थिंक अबाउट देयर सुपरवाइजर, व्हाट दे थिंक अबाउट द पॉलिसीज ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. बट एट द लास्ट द प्रॉब्लम वाज दैट कि ये बड़ा इनकंक्लूसिव रहा. यानी कि साइंटिस्ट किसी या जो ऑथर्स थे वो किसी कंक्लूजन पे नहीं पहुंच पाए क्योंकि उनके पास कोई एम्पेरिकल एविडेंस नहीं था। वो ये नहीं कह सकते थे कि इतने लोगों, these number of people they were satisfied, these number of people they were not satisfied. So because there was no empirical evidence, so again this experiment was also failed. और ये this interview was done on 20,000 employees, 20,000 employees का इंटरव्यू लिया गया था. Then comes your relay wire, sorry, this bank wiring experiment. Bank wiring experiment. अब क्या किया गया? Now we have selected some male candidate. कुछ male candidate को select किया and we have asked them to produce so much telephonic कुछ भी component या target उनको दिया गया कि आपको इतना produce करना है. We have given them target कि fine because you have been selected as an experiment group और आपको इस experiment group में इतना production करना है, इतना produce करना है. At last we observed that, at least the scientists observed that those employees, though they have the potential, उनके पास पूरा potential था कि वो ज़्यादा production कर सकते थे, but they have not produced more, they have not manufactured more, उन्होंने ज़्यादा produce नहीं किया. There were number of reasons. They want to know कि ऐसा क्यों रहा? Because these people, those we have selected, they have that potential कि वो ज़्यादा produce कर सकते थे. Despite of that, they have not produced. Why? Because the employees were reluctant to increase the productivity because of fear of unemployment. उन्हें ऐसा लगता था कि अगर हमने ज़्यादा produce कर लिया, अगर हमने ज़्यादा manufacture किया, तो वो लोग, वो workers जो premises के अंदर, जो organizations के अंदर ज़्यादा produce नहीं कर रहे हैं, उन्हें organizations काम से बाहर निकाल देगी. Apart from that, they have the fear of rising target. उनको कहीं ना कहीं ये लगने लग गया कि अगर आज हम इनकी बात मान के इतना टारगेट अचीव कर लेते हैं कि लाइक डेली आई हैव टू प्रोड्यूस 200 यूनिट, तो ऑब्वियसली आज मैं 200 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस कर लूं, मैनेजमेंट विल नेवर गेट सेटिस्फाइड. कल ये आ जाएंगे कि आपको 400 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करने, देन वी विल बी द वन हु विल बी सफरिंग, यानी हमें सफर करना पड़ेगा. So at the end they have decided कि whatever we are producing, we will stick to that number only. हम उसी number पे stick करेंगे. We are not going to increase our production. And this experiment proves that the human beings have the social needs. कहीं ना कहीं जो आपका group behavior है, जो group decide करता है, जो भी social behavior decide, जो भी social behavior है, यानी जो groups का, जो collectively लोगों का behavior है, वो इंडिविजुअल के बिहेवियर को इम्पैक्ट करता है. क्योंकि ग्रुप ने डिसाइड कर लिया था कि वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस मोर, हम ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस नहीं करेंगे, एल्स मैनेजमेंट विल टर्मिनेट दोज एम्प्लॉय, दोज हु विल फेल टू मीट दैट टारगेट, जो टारगेट को मैच नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए हर इंडिविजुअल ने भी इस बात को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि यस, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस मोर बिकॉज आवर ग्रुप हैव डिसाइडेड दिस, although they have the potential. So obviously the one thing which was proved by this experiment is that the person, the human beings have the social need. They want to form the groups in an organization. हर इंसान की एक social need है, एक social need है, इसीलिए उस social need को, because they want to communicate, they want to interact with each other, they want to share with each other, whatever it is related to work or whether it is related to, it is not related to work, but they want that they should form the group in an organization. वो organization में एक group form करना चाहते हैं. That is the need of the human being, that is the social need of the human being. I hope it's clear to the entire class. Any doubt? कोई doubt?
No, ma'am.
No doubt. Anybody apart from Mitakshi, anybody is having any doubt? Yogesh, Deepak, Siddharth, if anybody is having any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you class, thank you so much. Please take your test which has been scheduled